Yay! I'm so excited. It is not only the end of a very tough week, but this is the first time I'm using Facebook Live to bring the popular confidence quickies into this format. So thank you for joining me. And not only is it Friday that makes it literally perfect for today's topic, but boy, oh boy, I think it's just perfect for this time of year and everything that's gone on and is continuing to go on. And the topic today is how to fuel confidence with forgiveness. All right, so let's think about this for a minute. Why does forgiveness give us such a confidence boost? Well, think about a time in your life where you felt personally unjust, or maybe you just disagreed with someone or something, and it made you so frustrated, in fact, angry. Maybe you were vengeful, you were ticked off to the point where you refused to deal with that person or situation. And you had to walk away and maybe stewed and simmered about it for a while. Maybe you had a few sleepless nights, been there, done that myself. And then you may have taken that energy and you said, you know what, I'm going to work out, or I'm going to use this negative fuel in some way to be a little bit more productive. So we have all been there before, for sure. Eventually we calm down, right? It may take hours, days, maybe even weeks or months, but we finally get to a point where we file it away and we try to move on. It is seemingly easier to just bury it in your brain, avoid thinking about it, and maybe even pretend it never happened. But you know what? The brain doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work. It stays in our memory. In fact, the emotional consequence of that situation burns it into our memory. It hardwires it in there. And then what happens is some random moment, that memory, that energy, that emotion pops up again. Maybe it's a song or a movie you're watching, or even just a smell, and it triggers that memory, and subsequently that negative energy, that emotion comes back. And if you think about the emotion, it is also usually tied to some form of guilt. Guilt about what happened, guilt of not dealing with it, but there's guilt kind of sewn through in there, laced in. So let's talk about the relationship between having compassion and forgiveness, because those two words are really, really tied together as well here. And when we recognize that all people, ourselves included, are human, that we all mess up, that we do and say things and circumstances make us do or cause us to do things that we may not really mean or subsequently didn't think about at the time, it gives us a little bit of a break, right? That there's things that are going to happen in our lifetimes, things that happen in everyone's lifetime, and you may not even realize why they were so angry at you when realize there was something else in their life that caused that. You just don't know. So giving them that compassion, giving yourself the compassion to say, you know what, that was a different time and place, and you know, we said things, did things that we might not have meant, or at the time, we're just at that time. You free the monkey from your back and the little ones that are running around in your brain. So that compassion is literally liberating. Think about like almost like a confession, right? Is when you say to yourself, I am not going to linger on this anger. I'm not going to allow myself to go down that path. And I'm going to allow myself to believe that it's because one of us screwed up or the situation was just not good. Again, it's very liberating, almost like a confession, to just get rid of that stress, to just be like, you know what, I'm not carrying that anymore and I'm going to deal with it. So that it's really kind of easy to say. But I think what we really need to do in that moment where we say, you know what, I don't want to deal with it anymore. I don't want it lingering in my memory. I don't want it popping up at random times, is to identify what really happened in terms of why we got so angry. Because at the root of that guilt, at the root of that moment that chewed away at our confidence, it is because there was something of value, one of our values, that was violated. So somebody or something happened and pushed you outside of your comfort zone, outside of your set of boundaries and value system that made you so angry. Maybe if you're like me, you have a very hardcore justice streak. It really like kind of lit that on fire, or it just simply put you in a place that you were not happy or comfortable. So by saying, I'm not going to let that make me angry anymore, and figuring out what it was, you have taken a major step in the right direction. And that in and of itself is confidence building. So we want to take control of it. And when we do that, that moment, even if we haven't resolved it yet, but taking control and saying, I'm going to fix this, I'm going to own it, is what allows us to take it out of our brainstem and push it up here into our prefrontal cortex. And for those of you who watch my other videos and read my books and so forth, you know I'm a big prefrontal cortex girl, because when we're up here thinking, we get to be rational, logical, and confident. So great. Theories, awesome. Alyssa, how do we do this? I'm going to give you 3 ways from easiest to hardest to bring that not only up here, but to really get it out of the brain, out of the memory, so that you don't have any more of that angst associated with that particular situation. All right, are you ready? Strap it on. Here we go. Number 1, easiest is to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself because, again, you are human like everyone else, and we all do things that in hindsight you're like, oh, just wasn't my fondest moment. So maybe it's you eat or drink too much on a regular basis and you're beating yourself up over that. Okay, stop it. For me, I haven't been sweating enough. You know what? I've been walking, I've been doing stuff, but I haven't actually broken sweat enough. And so I'm feeling really guilty and angry and frustrated, and I am going to forgive myself. And then doing that, I say, you know what? I've had all kinds of excuses. It doesn't matter. What I'm going to do is move forward, and I'm going to do the following. And I'm confessing it to you here on Facebook Live. How about that? I have been playing pickleball every weekend, which I love. It's fun. I play with my family and my sister, and it's just fun. Breaks a sweat. I come home dripping. It's awesome. But in addition, I just found out my gym reopened. So I am going to get my big flat butt now, because I've been sitting for the last 9 months, out to the gym, get back into those classes. There you go. So you have the opportunity to do the same. Give yourself some compassion. Doesn't matter what the past was. Make a plan to go forward, forgive yourself, and move on. You want to share that with me in the chat. You want to share that with me in the comments. You want to send me a text. I'm here for you. Please use me as your coach, confidence and otherwise. I love it. So that's my first suggestion. My second suggestion, getting harder, but still pretty easy, relatively speaking, is in addition to forgiving yourself, find someone else who is unaware that maybe you did something or you feel badly about something that happened, and let them know that you're sorry. So an example, I had 2 old boyfriends back in high school. So we're talking, 150 years ago, but 2 boyfriends that I just didn't treat very well, and broke up with them in ways that I, for a long time, 50 years later, still thinking and kind of ruminating about. So went back, I guess this was about a year or 2 now, sent them letters and said how sorry I was. I really felt badly about it even this long, and I wanted them to know that it really was something that I regretted. And I did hear back from both of them. One of them actually was really happy that I did that and felt really good about reconnecting. And the other one got all angsty again, as if we were back in high school. So I felt a little badly about that, but it was good because we were then able to resolve it, both of us. So let me tell you, very proud moments when you can look yourself in the mirror and say, got rid of the monkey in my brain, and help somebody else do it too. So really good practice. Forgive somebody who is unaware that you're still carrying around that angst. Makes you feel really good. And like I said, you may be surprised, it might make them too. Ready for the third? Here we go, because the third one is the hardest, and it is to forgive someone that you are still in a debate about with, so that you're still angry with each other, that there was some kind of an issue that you're still not settled with. And as much as you're trying to file it in the back of your brain, it's just not working because of all the reasons I said before. So can you say you're sorry if you're truly sorry, or at least express that you regret the situation to the person? Hey, you know what? We don't agree on this, but it makes me really sad that we're no longer friends. Right? You can take the high road. You can be the better person in this and really drive to some kind of resolution. Even if you don't end up being best buds still, you get that monkey off your back, out of your brain. And even if they don't respond, even if they ignore you or maybe tell you to fuck off, whatever the case might be, you have been the better person, and you can know that you've tried to resolve this and you've done something proactive, and that is the game, to get it up here and get your confidence all triggered up. So 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, or 3, you decide, but give it a go, because forgiveness really fuels confidence. It's one of many confidence quickies. You can find others on alyssadevere.com. I hope you'll check them out. We drop one every week, and I'm going to be start to do these more often on live, so stay tuned, sign up, connect with me. I'd love to hear from you now. I'd love to hear from you anytime in the future. And if you're here live with me now, please, please, please enjoy your day. Happy Friday to everyone. Have a great weekend.